Hey, so Geoffrey, welcome to another beautiful Friday here in rainy, cloudy Springfield, Missouri.
Thanks. Sunshiny, little puffy white clouds here in Orlando, Florida.
Rub it in, rub it in. Okay, so here we are. I brought toys today. It's a book,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
David and Goliath. And it's a great book. Malcolm, have you ever read Malcolm Gladwell?
No, I haven't.
No, he's a great writer, but David and Goliath. But my point is, this book has over 300 pages.
Okay.
Would you ever send someone, would you ever read a page without chapters or out a table of contents or page numbers or paragraphs or punctuation?
No context.
Yeah. Well, then, Geoffrey, what in the world are you and I doing then sending videos without bookmarks in them?
Good question.
Yeah. Great introduction, too, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
So here's something I have discovered is that I always feel like I want more views on my video. In reality, I don't. I don't want more views. I want more watch time. And there's significant difference because people count views. I count views and I use them as they're like vanity metrics. Oh my goodness, I'm doing Facebook Lives every day and I'm getting 1,200, 1,400 views. And that feels really good. But what I really want and what you really want for your students is more watch time.
Yes.
And and for example, this is what normally happens on a video. This is just a normal graph of a video behind the scenes. And this is audience retention. Is that clear on your
Yes.
screen? Okay, audience retention. Of course, at the beginning, you have 100%.
Okay.
And then towards the end, you're down to 1% or zero.
Okay, good.
So what most people are counting, they're counting views up here, which is not really a meaningful number. This happens to be, this is a picture of the analytics behind one of my Facebook Live videos.
Okay.
And so at the beginning, of course, you have 100% views, and this video is only 4 minutes, 38 seconds long, but you see the drop off and how quick that is?
Yes, I do.
What if we could retain more people? This is a graphic from my back office of YouTube where they show you the analytics. Now, it looks a little bit different than live streaming video, but still it starts out high and it ends very low, and you don't have much view time here in between. This is a video that's 29 minutes, 24 seconds.
Okay.
So how in the world can you send a video to your students and you're asking them, would you please watch from start to finish and learn so we can have a valid conversation next time? That's the question on the table. Big question.
Yes.
And so here's one thing you do, and you and I have been doing this recently. Now, this has many terms. I call it skip to a topic because it's more descriptive. It's called timestamps. It is called quick links. It's called a number of things. Oh yeah, and Facebook right now is calling it chapters. And this has only been in play about 2 years. I saw it 2 years ago and said, we must do this because I saw the value in it. But here is, actually, this is the video we did last week, Geoffrey. Skip to a topic. And you will see, at 10 minutes, 30 seconds, that's a big goal. And you'll see at 8:58, step number 1, 2, 3, 4. So, and this is an easy way for your viewer to get to a specific place in the video. Now, yes. So far, so good. We're communicating.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, great. And this is kind of interesting. This is where I'm going to ask you to write some things. If you would, what's circled in red there, would you write that number?
Okay.
And then what's circled in green, would you write that number? I'm going to make a comparison. It's not an actual double-blind test, but it's as close as I could get with the data I had. So on the left, we see how many views,
81,
and on the right, we see how much time watched.
1.6.
Okay, 1.6 hours. So that data doesn't mean anything unless we compare it to something. This is the video you and I did last week. It's been online 2 or 3 days. How many views
67,
and how much watch time?
3.2 hours.
Now think about that in comparison.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow, that's almost 3 times as much.
Right. It's more, it's 2.2 times more. And
Or
here's,
2.2.
yeah, it's okay. Here's the real value is what that means, Geoffrey. What that means is that your students have spent two times as much time viewing and absorbing that content.
Yes, yes.
Both videos took about the same effort to create. Both videos actually have the same value to them. It's from the same lesson on leadership, but one gets watched twice as much.
Yes.
That's something I want to shout to the world, but go ahead.
That's incredible. That's incredible. And can I share a comment?
Yeah, please do.
May I share a comment
Yes.
about the context of this information you just shared?
Yes.
When you go to a YouTube,
right,
and you're looking at a particular video, you see the initial information about the video. You don't see the timestamp information. You have to go to the bottom of the image and click on what is the term they use?
Well, let's see if we can just do this part live.
Because I found for a long time, I didn't see these timestamps because I didn't even know where to go and look for them.
Right. Well, and the thing is, that's the fault of the teacher not making you aware. Now, are you looking at a video on your screen now?
Yes, I'm seeing a video.
Okay, so guide me to where those timestamps are.
Okay, let's see. Can you scroll down just a little bit more?
Well, it's right here where.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yes, see, show more.
I'm going to select that.
You're putting your cursor around it.
Right.
When you click on that, then all of a sudden this information appears that gives you the choices of where you can look at the video. And that's the thing I was missing because I didn't even realize all that information was there or how to access it.
Well, and then when you hover your mouse over one of the timestamps, whenever your mouse turns from the arrow into the pointy finger, that's the official term. It's official. I made it official. Then that's a hyperlink. And it's just going to automatically, it starts exactly at 10 minutes, 30 seconds.
It takes you right to that place in the video. That's good.
And what that does for you as the user, that makes this content so easy to consume. It's just like my illustration in the book. It's like going to a chapter and a page in a book because I've never actually sat, well, maybe once in my life, sat and read a book start to finish 300 pages.
Right.
And today you really, it would take a big ticket, a big dollar bill to get me to sit and watch your video from start to finish 35 minutes.
Yes, yes. You gave me a very good illustration of a movie trailer.
Right.
When people watch a movie trailer, they see some part of the movie that's interesting and exciting.
Yes.
And what that does is it motivates them to want to watch the whole video. I mean, the whole movie. Right. Same principle here.
And with the access, I mean, for example, some people don't know this information, but I looked at how many times are you contacted or messaged during the day? How many impressions? And it varies, but it's a big number. Take a guess, Geoffrey.
I have no idea.
Well, some of the information that I saw from 6 years ago was 2,000, 3,000.
Oh,
Some of the information today is 5,000 or 10,000. And those are just quick little 0.2 of a second impressions. And we're busy. We're bombarded during the day with so much information. In fact, we have a plethora of information, but we have a desert. We have a famine of wisdom.
wow. 2 to 5,000 impressions.
Yes, or more.
Wow. No
And
wonder we don't watch everything.
no, and you don't. And you must, if you are producing content, you, Geoffrey, as a teacher of spiritual content, you must create a good user experience for me. And the part of the good user experience is give me what I want when I need it and no more.
Yes.
And
Yes.
this is one tool to do that, and it's underutilized to the point that it's seldom utilized. Except my business friend entrepreneurs, when I show this to them one time, Geoffrey, they do it. They say, "Show me how to do it," and I'll start using it. And frankly, there are other parts of the world that have been a little bit slower to adopt this. I won't name names.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's going to be fun and exciting to experience our first training video
Right.
on how to build a spiritual leadership team using these timestamps.
And they're working already. And what's interesting, towards the end, I have a surprise for you, a surprise that I just discovered this morning. And but timestamps, that's the reason this has 2.2 more times views, or not views, watch time. Watch time is better than number of views, simply because of effectively using these timestamps. And I'm titling all my videos going forward, till I find something I like better, skip to a topic. Because that tells you exactly what you want to do with that.
Yes. Yes.
And this is last week's video, Geoffrey. It was about 35 minutes. And you see all the peaks?
Yes.
Those are the timestamps. And so we have this based on last week's video versus this. Which would you prefer?
Wow. Impressive.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
And for example, and when you look at your data, here's something else that I discovered in doing this research. Do you see where the blue arrow is?
Yes.
Okay, that's an exact time of 21 minutes, 38 seconds. What you can do is when you select that, that tells you exactly what the topic was. So if you will study these peaks and valleys, your audience then tells you where their interests are.
Yes, I see.
So your audience is saying, my peak interest is here. You know, it's not here, it's here.
Yes.
And now you don't have access to that, but when you create the video and you publish the video in I call it the back office of YouTube and Facebook and other places that have this data, you actually enter the conversation inside the brain of your student, of your user.
That's amazing. So you can actually learn here the best place to have them start watching it.
Yeah, you could select the best place to have them start watching it. And it also gives you direction on creating relevant future content.
Okay.
So, good. I mean, for example, when I read this book, the one thing the author doesn't have is data. He doesn't know how many people read what chapter, which line. But in the digital world, we have a lot of data. Now, some people think I don't like people and I like data more. Well, here's why I like data so much, because data is the behavior of real people.
Yes.
you see data, I see people reading and listening.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that is what data does for us. And then we take the data, which is the behavior of, in your case, of your students, and you can send the future students, you can send them places, you can send them content that's more relevant to them right now, because this data is real time. It's only a few
Yes.
days old.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And then when you and I create future content, it tells us the kind of content we should be creating for students.
That makes total sense.
And the data is not data, it's the behavior of your audience, your people.
Mm-hmm.
To me, and it's so easy to access now. If we
That's
would
amazing.
just, you pay attention and you use it. And again, back to these skip to a topic, timestamps, and the effective use. And I do believe, not I do believe, is that when you label the timestamps, there you need to treat a timestamp like you would an email subject or a blog post title. It must interest and intrigue me, and it must be brief.
Yes.
And if you can be clear and at the same time add some humor, that's even better.
You bet.
But
That,
take a look. Yes, go
that
ahead,
also
Geoffrey.
that also acts like a table of contents, actually, in this case,
Yes,
because
it is.
we have outlined the 5 steps to building a leadership team.
Well,
And you can go to whichever step you want to go to. If there's one that is immediately something you're interested in learning, you can go directly there and look at it.
well, and Geoffrey, think about this. What if you went somewhere to speak publicly and it were recorded? You have your notes, right?
Yes.
And you have some idea of the highlighted points. You can take that and do this with any recorded material
Mm-hmm.
and make it much more user friendly. And here's what I see that it really pains me is that I will see things published Monday every week of a church service, 50 minutes or an hour, 10. And I know, in one case I attend and I know there's quality information there, but it gets 50 or 60 views, or there's a congregation or 10 or 15,000 membership and it gets 1,000 views. That's a travesty.
Yes.
If they had just a virtual assistant assigned to that and say, pick 6 highlighted moments.
Yes.
And then in their emails and in their social media and on the internet, they could highlight different selections. They could then tell with people where they engage, and it also could drive what is the best future content to present.
Yes.
And yet there are tremendous number of hours spent in preparation of that. When you think of number of people on stage, the worship leader, 20, 30 people are involved. Hundreds of hours are involved. And then that video gets buried.
Yes.
You say it's accessible, but it's not user friendly. So for me, receiving 3,000 messages a day, it is not accessible.
Right. And assuming that people are going to come on and watch the whole thing is unrealistic.
No, it's unrealistic. We know that, but what if you could guide them or direct them to a spot and simply say, Geoffrey, you've got to listen to this. It's where Geoffrey said, this is a big goal. All you got to do is listen for 90 seconds and be inspired. Well, then you go there and you listen, you share, because it's easier to share. And then you might even listen, instead of 90 seconds, 120 seconds. Imagine that.
You bet. You bet.
And the tool it's so obvious, it's so simple, but I believe our job, our responsibility is to let other people know about this. So here's another example that, and again, this is data, but it tells you what people are thinking. This is a video from about a year ago with PJ Charles. Do you remember this?
Yes. Uh-huh.
And do you see the red arrows there?
Yes.
Okay, so those are 3 specific spots that people enjoyed, and we use timestamps there. You know, at the time, actually, this is brand new to me and I called it quick links. Now I call it skip to a topic, but those three red arrows account for 82% of all the watch time.
Wow.
So out of 45 minutes, about 5 or 6 minutes are of extreme value to our audience.
Wow. That's amazing.
And what that teaches me, you know, I want to go back and look at that content. I also want to go back and look at how I titled the topics and how I shared it and where I shared it, because that data represents human behavior.
Sure.
My audience. And that data also represents that I made this user friendly to the extent that, you know, this video I think I shared with you has 11 times more watch time than average. 11.
Wow, that's great.
It was somewhat controversial, racial reconciliation, and I used some controversial titles in there saying, guess who's coming to dinner?
Yes.
I mean, that's called hijacking the story. I hijacked something that most people know about from 1967, but it's just a good use of technology. And the 82% is not what's impressive. What's impressive is that shows me humans behind this, their behavior was their behavior shows me they were attracted to this.
Yes. Yes. And those peaks probably represent stories or something humorous or something that really captured people's attention, right?
Well, if you recall, every one of those peaks represents a story that PJ Charles had to share.
He had some good ones. He
Yeah.
had in that video.
He had some good ones. So why would I send you a 45-minute video and then bore you with me talking or someone else talking when
Right.
PJ has these classic stories?
You bet.
And then it's more user friendly, you get more value. And then along the way, maybe somebody watches another part that's really important to them.
Sure. Sure.
And it's so
and when you can tell someone, I just saw this video and there is a hilarious story in this video. If you go to this quick link and give them the number, they go right to it, or you can send it to them
right
at where it starts, right at that story.
Yeah,
that's the point we're making.
Yeah,
right?
that's the next step. And the thing is, when you know that people like that, when you send a video, you will not be embarrassed.
That's right.
You know they're going to like it.
That's right.
And they're also in a position where if they like it, they're about to share it. And when they share it, what it does, it takes all their brand credibility and it transfers it to the next viewer. Like when you send something to me and I share it, all the credibility I have with my viewers and users gets transferred to what I shared.
Yes.
And you're not even present. And
yes.
they don't know you. So when you create a good user experience, you also create a shareable user experience.
Yes.
And
now I may be getting ahead of you here, but
go right ahead.
I have a feeling you're going to tell us how to do this.
Really? Okay. So here we are on a video. Do you see what's circled in red there?
Yes. Share.
Okay. And can you see the blue box? At what time do I want to share it in the video?
5:31.
Yeah. And that's exactly where PJ Charles starts his funny story on Guess Who's Coming to Dinner.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm not going to tell you the story. You folks, you go and find it. It's hilarious. You know? So, okay, I want to share that. And I want it to start right there. So I'm going to select that share button. And this is what pops up. You're familiar with this, right, Geoffrey?
Yes, indeed. For recently, first time.
Oh, okay. So when you want to copy the link, it's easy. You select copy. But I don't want to copy the link, do I, Geoffrey?
No, that's the link to the whole video.
Right. And you just told me that I should watch 45 minutes of your video, and I'm not interested in watching 45 minutes of your video. But one thing people don't notice, do you see the other red arrow down here?
Yes.
Right where I hit share, you don't see it very well. It's grayed out. It will start at 5:31 if I do one more thing, and that is, what did I do differently?
Click the box.
Yeah, click the box. I have a white check and a blue box now, and it says it will start at 5:33. And the way you know this is true is you look here at the link. The link is in seconds. 333 seconds is 5 minutes 31 seconds, or 5 minutes 33 seconds.
Okay, now I'm not understanding that.
Well, let's go back.
5:33 and 3:33. That's not making.
Okay, so you click this, correct?
Okay.
And all I'm showing you is these numbers here: 333 seconds. 300 divided by 6 is 5 minutes. 300 divided by 60 is 5 minutes.
Oh, got you. Got you.
I'm just saying, don't let that confuse you, because this number will not match that number, because this 333 is 5 minutes 33 seconds in seconds.
That makes sense.
Okay, and once you understand that, and then of course you select copy. Now you have a link. Wherever you send it, however you use it, it will open. When you use that link, it will open right there on the funny story.
Okay.
Now, I want to make sure that you grasp what's happening here, correct?
Now you clicked on I'm drawing a blank here. What was it you clicked on, just clicked on to get to this box?
Here?
On the last screen, the previous screen.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
I
clicked on copy.
No, I clicked on share.
Okay, I understand you clicked on share to get to the other screen.
Right.
How did you get back to this the screen you just showed us?
Well, I have screenshots. I'm looking at pictures here.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay.
Well, let's do this differently, because if it's not clear to you, it's not clear to others. Let's go ahead and go to.
I was just thinking about what is the next step from that box.
No, let's just go ahead and go to a video. So here is a video from last week. Okay, you're on YouTube, you're looking at a video, and you like this spot where Geoffrey said, that's a big goal.
Okay, good.
Okay, I click on it. Now I'm gonna pause the play button, because I want to be right at that spot.
All right.
Then I'm gonna go to share. Are you with me so far?
I'm with you.
Okay, and then now I need to do one more thing. I need to start it at 10 minutes 31 seconds.
Yes.
Now my link will start at 10 minutes 31 seconds, and I simply select copy.
Got you.
Now I have the link. I can use it wherever I want to use that link, and I know that the user, when they receive that link and they click on it, it's going to start right here.
Right. Okay, so the option of the next step was any of those boxes in the round circles above, email.
Oh, yes, right.
So that's the next place you go. Once it's copied,
right,
you can send it to Facebook, email, WhatsApp, Twitter.
Email. It's on your clipboard. You can now go to your email, open your email, and just copy it into your email.
Got you.
Right. And once you've done it 3 or 4 times, it's simple. It's easy peasy. And if you have difficulty, frankly, the reason we're doing this, Geoffrey, if you have difficulty with it, instead of you using your valuable time to explain it, you send people to this video.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Do not try to be the technical expert for your team when you have a resource that's done it for you already.
Absolutely.
But here's what you want to be sure that you don't send someone the entire video, because you've sent them a 35-minute video now and they don't want to watch the whole thing.
Yes, that's
they
right.
won't. They want to go right here at 10 minutes, 30 seconds. And you can do that because you're going to select share. And then you're going to select the next button, start, or the box, start at 10 minutes, 31 seconds. And you see 10 minutes, 31 seconds expressed in seconds. Then you copy.
Right.
Now you have a link that will send people to that video and start them exactly where you wanted them to start. And you could simply say, you know, Steve, you need to watch this. Geoffrey, you need to watch this. Watch it. Give me 90 seconds of your time and watch this. And you send them the link. It opens for them exactly there.
You bet. That's so clear. Thank you so much for helping us with this. I want to say this to those who are watching.
Right.
This training video that you're watching, save it.
Yes.
Save it on your computer and know where it is, because when you're training other people, you'll be able to just send this video to them and they'll be trained just by watching it. You don't have to explain all of this.
Right. I mean, you're talking to a leader in Kenya, and he has, 30 people, 40 people. He can simply send them to this link. And
That's
then
right.
what I do when there's good training material, Geoffrey, you know how I do this. I say, Geoffrey, I will not answer that question for you. I will send you a video, because I'm wasting my time and your time if I try to explain some technology and it's already available for you and it's explained better than I can explain it.
That's right.
And besides,
That's right.
you are much more effective. Your zone of genius is in leadership, not teaching technology.
That's right.
No, your
Amen
leader.
to that.
Yeah, but your leaders, their zone of genius is personal connection and leadership,
Yes.
not teaching technology.
Yes, that's right.
But once you know the technology, please use it, because it increases your effectiveness.
That's
It's
right.
just amazing how effective you could be once you learn this. And that particular video that we just discussed with PJ Charles, based on those 3 hotspots. This is old data, but 11.6 times more, not views, but watch time.
Wow.
Than the other videos in the group.
Impressive.
Now, my YouTube channel is not that impressive, but these numbers are real, they're transparent, and it's relative. So I'm going to burn it into it. Geoffrey, what do you want? Do you want your audience like this?
No, sir.
Dropping down to almost 0 in 4 minutes, 38 seconds. Or if you can guide them and create a better user experience, you can select 3 great spots with humor and some value and have 82% of your views right there.
That's cool.
And I think I have an updated version here too. Yeah, this is just pretty amazing, because this video you and I have out here, it's only been out, let's say 3 or 4 days. And you can see that 3.2 represents twice as much watch time, 2.2 more watch time than average. And look at just this morning, maybe 12 hours later from the previous screenshot, 3.8 hours, and it's almost 3 times as much.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, and it's just amazing, because now that's an asset. That asset sits there. We don't have to recreate it. We just have to share it and promote it properly. And that asset, while you're asleep, because You know, you don't need to invite me to any more 3 a.m. meetings in Sierra Leone while you're asleep and I'm resting nicely.
comfortably.
Somebody can be watching an asset, you know, a real resource that we have created, and then we've made it so user friendly that it just begs to be shared.
That's right. That's right.
You know, and the amazing thing is, I can't stress this too much, Geoffrey. Oftentimes, men of faith, people of faith, women of faith, are behind the curve on technology, years behind, decades behind. At least here, with what you're sharing, you're ahead of the curve because the business world has adopted this. I've adopted this. Many people are using it, but unfortunately, the people of faith had not yet adopted this. So that, I mean, you are in the front of the pack in using this tool.
You
And
bet.
your
And
leadership program will get more. It's not the views, it's going to get more watch time than others. And you created an extremely friendly user experience for your audience.
well, thanks to you, thanks to your expertise, I really appreciate all you've done. And I want to be sure to get an advertisement in here before we
Oh,
end.
yeah, add away.
That is, you can access this particular training video on how to develop a spiritual leadership team on YouTube. You go to YouTube and you search for Alvin Weiss, right?
Right.
And walk us through the steps that gets them to this video.
Um,
Can you do that?
well, sure I can.
I'm putting you on the spot here.
No, it's all right. I think I can do it, and maybe I can, maybe I can't. But we will find out. So here you are.
There we go.
Okay. You're at this YouTube channel, Alvin Weiss. And I'm going to keep the header the same so you won't get confused. And here's what I recommend you do on almost any YouTube channel you use. Go to their playlist first, because most people have things organized the way you want them. And so when you see the playlist, I think in this case, we're going to have to scroll all the way to the right, but it'll be there. Yes. You selected playlist. Are you with me, Geoffrey?
Yes,
Okay, and then you scroll to the right, and here's a nice playlist, How to Build a Spiritual Team in 5 Steps. And right now that has 10 videos in it. And all you have to do is select full playlist.
Okay.
Today's video.
Awesome. Awesome. Look at that.
Yes.
That represents a lot of hard work.
Hours, years, actually, years.
Yes.
And the one video that we're highlighting is here on the bottom, 35 minutes, 13 seconds. Today's video will fall below it, and then you have access to it. And, you know, Geoffrey has built a spiritual team global, not just Africa, 23 countries in Africa, Philippines, India, and more. And this is one of the tools he's using. It's here. It won't cost you a nickel. It's free. You can use it. And we are not saying that you have to be with us to use it. Just use it.
Yes. Anytime.
Yeah. If you are a person of faith and you have a story to tell and a message to share, just use it. Yeah. Is that strong enough for you?
Yeah. This particular segment of our training, there are 3 segments. We have a basic segment called Natural Discipleship, and then this one is how to build a spiritual leadership team. And then the third one we will be producing coming up will be how to build a spiritual movement. And we're seeing that beginning to happen in Africa now as well. So 3 segments to our training that develops high quality leaders. And we're trusting God to build a national leader in all 54 African countries that will be able to use these 3 segments of training to be able to create a movement in their country.
And if anywhere along the line you feel inadequate or challenged, I would just encourage you to adopt some crazy faith. You can borrow mine, you can borrow Geoffrey's, because the reality, I said this jokingly, but the reality of it is two old guys, one sitting in a bedroom in Orlando, Florida, another sitting in a coffee shop in Southern Missouri. Two old guys can change the world. And not can, it is happening as we speak. We're not, I'm not shy about it, because people need to know that if you're a person of faith, you have a belief, take your crazy ideas, take your crazy faith and run with it. And yes, change the world via a spiritual revolution.
That's right. That's what God's called us to. And he would never ask us to do something he wouldn't give us the power to do.
My goodness. And he gave you YouTube and Zoom and cool headsets. What else do you
That's
need?
right. That's right. That's right. Even in my old age, I can't believe I started doing this 3 years ago. It took me all these years to get 73 years to figure this out.
Geoffrey, take a good look at yourself in the video with the headset and your shirt. You look like an airline pilot.
Yeah,
don't you?
I guess I do at that.
Hey, shall I close this in the usual manner? Okay.
Yes, please do.
May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord smile on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord show you his favor. And until we meet again, may God's peace be with you.
Amen.